Joining me in the studios now is the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Akeem Odumosu. It's our pleasure to have you. Thank you for coming in.
God bless you.
You are under some pressure. Your command is under some pressure because it does appear as if, other than Abuja, Lagos is another place that a lot of people want to get into. Yes. Over the weekend, there were several reports of people hiding with cows in between bags of cement and so on, and being discovered just at the Ojodu-Bega border. Yes. How are you coping with that?
Well, it's a challenge, but we have been trained for that. And the logistics to do this have been provided. So that's why it makes it easier for us now to ease the problem of doing that.
Your colleagues in, I remember there was one of the reports where the truck was said to have started coming from Kano. And it ended up here in Lagos. The question which Kayla asked and several other people would have asked is, how did it get past all the others only for it to be your own command that then found them out in Lagos? The question being, are you in communication, operational communication with some of your other colleagues to be able to trace or track vehicles as they move about the country?
No, we have. So we have a communication system throughout the whole country. But it's only where issues occur that one control room from a command will call another control from a command. Then maybe, I don't use that word now, so we'll be on the road and we'll look out for that. So for example, some of the ones that we got here now is collaboration between Ogun State and Lagos State. You know, we are a bit lucky in Lagos State because it's only Ogun State that we have border with. Either you're coming through Ekpe, you bust out at Djibouti there. Either you're coming through Turkey now, you bust out at still Djibouti there. Either you're coming out through Shagam, you bust out at Ogijo. So they're coming out through the main road now, you bust out at Bega. Or you're coming in through Songota, you bust out. Or even want to come in now through the other side, that you're coming through or area. It's still Ogun State. Outside Ogun State, the border we have is Seme, which is Republic of Benin, which have been closed since, and other federal government agencies, including police anyway. So the customs, the immigration are taking that one out. So that's why we have lesser one. We don't have so many policies from other states that can be solely Ogun State. And once we are in good symbiotic relationship with the Ogun State counterpart now. You know, last time we had a meeting now, we came in. So we are with my Ogun State counterparts.
Yes.
Where we now chose the other one.
Yes.
So after the meeting with our supervising assistants for General Police, the AIG, also Zone 2, so we came in here. So we have been working together closely. And that has made it to be easier for us now to checkmate this.
We'll take a short break. We'll come back. The CP, of course, will stay with us because there are still questions surrounding, for example, the implementation of the curfew that has been imposed. But please, that will be after the break. Do stay on with us. Thanks for staying tuned. Before we took the break, we were talking to the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, Mr. Akeem Odumosu. Thank you so much for staying tuned. Okay. Moving to the curfew now, because that's the second leg of the general enforcement. Okay. And that seems to, we just heard from Olu Phillips in the Ogudu area. A lot of people are, shall we say, trapped there and a lot of them claim that they are coming from various places which are a bit far and that they got caught in traffic and 8 o'clock met them there. How did you give your officers, for example, discretion in how to do this? We all know what the traffic situation is in Lagos, traditionally. But given the curfew situation, how are you managing that?
The initial challenge you have in the curfew is that, since the advent of the current civilian administration in 1999, so this is the first time in the Nigerian history where it's going to be a general curfew across the country. And most of the youths that were given birth to after that 1999, they don't even know what curfew is all about. So there are maybe one other or two states, some part of the country, where the security agencies were granted curfew being imposed. But the general curfew is not as been. So many just see it as a general lockdown restriction. So not knowing that curfew is complete cessation of movement, both vehicular and pedestrian movements, except those that are on essential services, like the media, so like the security agencies, like those in the petroleum industry, so like those in the telecommunication industry, maybe those working in the port authority, so and the medicals.
Right.
Oh, so those are the ones that are. But because of that and the peculiar nature of Lagos, traffic-wise, being a mega city, so we have that. So the government of the state now said that between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m., so giving window of 5 hours, so before the curfew starts. But in Lagos, a vehicle break down occasionally, so and the times of getting it out or it becomes another one. So that's why we've been having those challenges. But challenges came the first 2 days. Thereafter, now if you go to the streets now, people are already adjusting to it. And back to your question, so that the men, so discretion is the veil of survival.
Right.
So now we told them that I told my men that those that are special duty, so they must create corridor. There will be creating corridor for those on special duty. Many a times I've got myself personally involved till 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. on the streets every day. So at least the first 1 week to make sure that we adjust to this. I will be doing this. But along the line, some that are on special duties, essential services, after closing, or maybe want to go and walk around in the hospitals now, going to take night duty, those who are not supposed to be on the road must have taken more of their time. So, because we are forcing it with human face, so what you just do is a persuasive enforcement rather than combative enforcement. And that's what you'll be using now together. So, creating corridor for those that
people
are
who are
on
genuinely
essential
affected.
duties who must be on the road 24 hours, irrespective of curfew or not.
Now, another complication, let me put our Lagos CP on pause and go to our Abuja studios where Mr. Bala Chiroma, the Commissioner of Police in the FCT, joins us. Good evening, Commissioner of Police. Thank you for your time. You heard from our correspondent in Abuja there while she was talking about the fact that Abuja, just like the Lagos CP has talked about, is one place where a lot of people seem to be headed as well. How are you controlling this situation there, given the fact that you are under orders to prevent interstate movement?
Good evening, Bayo. The lockdown on interstate movement is on. What we've done here in Abuja is to man the known entry and exit points. We have adequate deployment of all sister agencies. Therefore, we do not have much movement through these particular entry and exit points. But there's a level of desperation amongst people wanting to travel. You find out that they look for alternative routes. Some of the places they follow, you wouldn't believe it. Go through bush paths and come out on the highway again. We are quite conscious of this. Therefore, we had mobile patrol teams. And these mobile patrol teams have been so effective. And they are the ones responsible for interception of the persons you showed on the clip. We, on arrest, ensure that we take them before our mobile courts and direct them to go back to where they are coming from.
Now, in terms of the implementation of the curfew, you heard me ask the Lagos CP about how he's controlling the situation in Lagos. Lagos is the nation's commercial capital. Abuja is the nation's administrative capital. How are you doing that in Abuja?
The problems are almost the same. You find out that you still see people outside. But most of these people you see are most of the people on essential duties, journalists, medical personnel, so on and so forth. What we've tried to do is we lock down completely and create corridors for those on essential duties to proceed on their journey.
CP, I'm going to give the two of you 1 minute to answer this, because definitely a lot of those who are watching the two of you will want you to address this aspect. There have been, of course, insinuations, and there are people who say, look, it's not possible for anybody to leave Kano during an interstate lockdown and head for Lagos or head for Abuja, except there's been some sort of arrangement or compromise with the security agencies who are in charge of the interstate borders. Two of the correspondents who reported there talked about that. First, from you, CP Abuja, what can you say about that?
I don't see it as wholly as an issue of compromise. Just as I stated earlier, there is a high level of desperation amongst people to move from one location to the other. Therefore, they are very conversant with the terrain. They know how to beat locations where security agents are posted. That is why I told you that what we did was that we were very conscious of this. Therefore, we resolved to have mobile patrols that go around trying to pick out these possible routes these people would follow. And that has proven to be quite effective. As I said, interceptions were made along these lines, and that is why we've had some measure of success in intercepting people and returning them to locations from which they are coming from.
CP Lagos, same question.
Yes, the same thing. You know, I said it earlier that the luck we have in Lagos is that it's only one state we need to police when it comes to the border one. And because of the relationship now we have, you know, one of the strategies we adopted there is that we'll be able to relocate so our checkpoint now from Bega to the OPIC, in front of OPIC, where those who are coming, who are not supposed to be in Lagos now, we easily turn them back. And that makes it easier for us. So the same thing at that Songo axis now, we relocated. Because we realized that the initial one, when we start the checking now, it goes round into the city and call it stop those. So that strategy now has worked like magic for us. But as my counterparts in Abuja said now, nothing like compromise on the part of any security agent. It's just the overwhelming one of the volume of traffic. So that those that are, especially in Lagos now, those that are in the civil services, you see, for example, those in the petroleum industry. So they come to Lagos mostly now to load and to go out into the hinterland. So that's one now, firstly. Secondly, those that are from the port authority, so the container that are moving out, so we have all this volume of traffic on the road. And that's why now it's a bit challenging. But with the creation of special corridor for all those societies now, we'll be able to surmount that. And many people are becoming more conscious of it, unlike the first 2 days we started. So they're having self-compliance. Not like the issue of masks now. If you go to the streets now, almost 70% compliance with masks, self-compliance. People are just doing that. So as time goes on now, the whole people now will have to adjust. And luckily too, some companies have been adjusting their closing time. So that's putting the traffic
situation in mind.
In mind, how people are going. So the first 2 days that have the long queue for this has eased out. And by 7 o'clock now, even these roads are almost getting dry. It's getting empty, sorry. Because people are conscious and they're moving out. So out of the...
CP Abuja, I need to ask you this. Occasionally you come across amongst your officers and men, you come across the odd person who is, to use the phrase, overzealous. They have the instructions, but they go beyond what they have been asked to do. And that sometimes leads to the issue of human rights and the possible abuse of human rights. Reports have been made of this, especially during the lockdown and even in the post-down period. What would be your comment on that?
Well, my comment on that is that we've opened up a channel of communication where perceived abuses are immediately reported and immediately action is taken. And this has proved to be quite successful. Our lines are open. People contact us. Where they have challenges, we go into the matters and see that they are resolved. Thank you.
Okay, I've just completely run out of time, but CP Lagos, 30 seconds, the same question. The issue of human rights abuses and the occasional overzealousness.
We have our channels of communication. We have our channels of discipline, our area members now, because the bedrock of this force is discipline. And we don't overlook any unprofessional acts from any of the members. And that's what we use now to let members of the public know that we are public servants and we have to make sure that we don't tramp on their fundamental human rights. But where 1 or 2 of our members are going to do that one now, the instant laws for discipline are instantly applied to serve as deterrents to others. Let
me say a very big thank you to the 2 commissioners of police here in Lagos, Commissioner of Police Kim Odumosu, and in our Abuja studios, Commissioner of Police Bala Chiroma. Thank you both, gentlemen, for coming on and taking out the time to be with us this evening. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.